ancient Arabic mythology, the roc or rook was an enormous bird of prey, reportedly large enough to carry off and eat full-grown elephants. The roc appears in Arab geographies and natural history, popularized in Arabian fairy tales and sailors' folklore. Ibn Battuta tells of a mountain hovering in the air over the China Seas, and the story collection 1001 Nights includes tales of Abd al-Rahman and Sinbad the Sailor, both of which include the roc. These huge mythological birds would have existed between the 1200s and 1500s, usually described as an eagle-like bird. Most mythology speculate that the roc was about a staggering 6 meters tall, with a wingspan of about 15 meters. As if the enormous size wasn't frightening enough, the eggs were said to be enormous as well. Many who claim to be fortunate to catch a glimpse of the roc often paint a picture of an enormous eagle-like creature. Very much like an eagle, the roc wore a dark brown plumage. The bill was relatively short, sharp and curved, whereas the tongue was long and forked. Some reports indicate that the creature was equipped with sharp pointed teeth along the lining of the beak. The storytellers even compare the size of palm leaves with the roc's plumage. Although the roc first appeared in the writings and stories of Eastern civilizations, it was Italian explorer Marco Polo who is credited with spreading the myth of the roc. In describing his travels to China in the 13th century, Marco Polo alluded to a bird of impossible size that attacked animals few humans could imagine a bird targeting. In his own words, Marco Polo described the roc in the following terms: "It was for all the world like an eagle, but one indeed of enormous size, so big in fact that its quills were 12 paces long and thick in proportion, and it was so strong that it will seize an elephant in its talons and carrying him high into the air, and drop him so that he is smashed to pieces. Having so killed him, the bird swoops down on him and eats him at his leisure." In the Arabian Nights, the roc appears on a tropical island during Sinbad's second voyage. Because of Polo's account, others identify the island as Madagascar, which became the location for stories about other giant birds. The scientific culture of the 19th century introduced some scientific rationalizations for this myth's origin, by suggesting that the origin of the roc may lie in embellishments of the often witnessed power of eagles that could carry away large animals after killing them. Recently, a giant subfossil eagle, the Malagasy crowned eagle, identified from Madagascar, was actually implicated as a top bird predator of the island, whose megafauna once included giant lemurs and pygmy hippopotamus. Today's lemurs still retain a fear of aerial predators such as these eagles. Some recent scholars have compared the legendary roc with the Ast's eagle of New Zealand. 1.4 meters long with a 3-meter wingspan, it became extinct around the 15th century, but probably inspired the Maori legend of the Okioi. This was said to be a colorful, huge bird that, in some versions of the legend, had occasionally descended on Earth to carry off humans to eat, but generally lived in the clouds unseen. Only its cry, after which it was named, could be heard. Another possible origin of the myth are accounts of eggs of another extinct Malagasy bird, the enormous Iopyrnis elephant bird, hunted to extinction by the 12th century. In September 2018, scientists determined that Vorombe titan reached weights of 730 kilograms and stood 3 meters tall, making it the world's largest and heaviest bird, slightly larger than the much older Dromornis stertoni. These gigantic sizes would serve as inspiration for the stories about the rock. Thus, it seems likely that the rock is a combination of stories and accounts of real animals, now extinct, but which remain in the imagination of travelers and local peoples, and whose legacy resulted in the creation of these mythological creatures.